everyone, welcome to the channel. It is November 2nd, 2025. Got some Palo Santo here. I had started the video, but I accidentally had it on this cinematic or whatever. So when I was holding up the card, it wasn't showing up clearly, it was showing up blurry. So I stopped the video and I'm restarting it with the regular settings, and so I have to catch you up on what we got pulled out here already. In the central energy, we have the Queen of Pentacles. In the challenge position, we have gaining control of the foundation for divine love, for the 10 of Cups. So this is a frugal life. It's not flashy, it's not flamboyant. It's your basic necessities, and then what you do with that is what you get, right? It's all about love. In the subconscious, we have the 8 of Cups. So there's leaving behind. Somebody's disappointed, getting left behind, walking away. In the recent past, we've got the Hanged Man. So you may have released something, let something go. Intentions and expectations is the three of Swords here. So there's a divorce, a cutting out of the energy. There has been a lot of connections that were created falsely, deceitfully, and those are getting cut out. We've got in the near future, we've got the 5 of Cups. So somebody's disappointed, they're in regret, for they have failed. And in the lens that's being looked through, we have the Hermit here. So you're doing some research. You're looking at everything now. You're not leaving any stone unturned. You know what's been going on, and you're like, got to get all those stones flipped over and find out what's hiding there. In the environment, we have the Empress. So there's a lot of research going on. We have the Empress here, the mother figure, hopes and fears. We've got the 9 of Swords. Somebody's in a nightmare, feeling hopeless. They're in despair. And the outgoing energy, we've got the Star. So there's a renewal, a rejuvenation. You're a healer and you are enlivening your environment. Yeah, the Devil here. So you're recovering from this codependent toxicity, right? You've got a new beginning here with love. So, yeah. And it's going to be passionate. It's going to be a passionate rebirth of this beautiful vibrancy in your life. You're excited and you're free. You're excited and you're free of this magician. You have maintained control. The strength of 2 together. Power couples. So, the strength of 2 together, the power couples, has overcome the triangles. The 2 masculines that would trap and then pull off of the divine feminine they failed in that setup to overpower and steal from the power of 2. Justice is being served on behalf of the divine feminine, the High Priestess, which is source connected, whose mind and gifts these devils were trapping and feeding on in order to cast the illusion that they were of a high value. You've got a new beginning here, and there could be some kind of travel plans. calling judgment on the power of three God is. Those triangles, those God is calling judgment on the conflict that they were generating for the earth angels. And there's death. There's death. The Divine Feminine is serious about living her life. She's not just going to fall down and let you roll all over her. It's enough. You know? She's got this wish come true, and these ones were trying to commit fraud in order to gain it. She's got a new career, a new opportunity, and that's the turn of the wheel, because she maintained her balance through many, many, many levels and layers of bullshit artistry, which brings a collapse to this scenario. And she's making plans for the future because she persevered and learned a whole bunch of new skills through this scenario. So somebody's having a freaking nightmare because the Empress is in her star energy. They're complaining that everything she touches turns to gold. They had a fraudulent contract. They consumed her in some previous lifetime, and they were faking it. You know, they were consuming the energy, the life force vitality of Christed beings, of light-bearing beings, the luminaries, and then they were pretending that they were that energy, and they're not. You know, they have to continuously feed in order to present the illusion that they are what they eat. But you take the food away, and it's obvious that they're simply not what they say they are. These false contracts with the Empress star are ending, have ended. Queen of Pentacles is here. And we've got body. She's a working parent. She's providing financially for a body. A body of what? A body. Well, the body is the temple, which houses the spirit-soul complex. So she is here. I feel like she's offering some kind of security or guardianship of this body. She's protecting the body of this Empress star is what I feel. We've got in the challenge position, we've got gaining control over the foundation of the Ten of Cups divine love unions. It's frugal because it's equal, right? It's like everybody gets an allotment, and there's no like way up here living in some freaking castle and then way down here living in a little tent, right? It's Arcana. So we have control of the foundation. We've got a Ten of Cups divine union in the community of Arcana. You're leaving behind somebody. It could be whoever this is that you're releasing. They're disappointed. They're getting left behind. You're walking away from them. And you're watching to make sure they leave. They're trying to escape your vision, your view. We've got the Hanged Man in the recent past. Do nothing. So you're releasing those who did nothing. They didn't do anything except control the mental, the heart, the womb, all the energy, the vital force of this woman. She didn't do anything. So there's and those who did not do anything, those who just commanded the gifts of divine feminine, they're being released. We've got the Three of Swords here. There's a divorce. There's a letting go of those who failed to do anything worthwhile. They siphoned this Empress, this divine look, and we've got perfection. So you're letting them go. There is a divorce, and you're not cutting any corners. You're making sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. Every single thing that must be done is done. You're not gonna leave any stone unturned. You're making sure nobody's hiding. There's not going to be any surprises later. You got the Five of Cups here. Somebody's in disappointment and regret. Because they can't explore here anymore. The explorer, the time traveler, the dimensional hopper, whatever, they're not permitted here. They failed. There's a failure of the explorer, this time traveler, this person who came to try to take over the planet, the foundation. We've got the Hermit here. There's some research going on regarding this communication, this fight with the Empress, with the Divine Mother energy. Labor. Somebody who is trying to interfere with the work, with the labor of the Empress. It could be that somebody's in a nightmare over the work, over this fight that they brought to her. They're in despair, feeling hopeless. Because you survived. Because she survived, man. They're hopeless because she survived their brutality. She's in the star energy, rejuvenated, healed. She is the healer. She's the one that was making their life livable, and they tried to destroy her. So God said, well, okay, that's it, man. That's it. We got player. So she has healed from this player. This kin, this wise guy who's been using spirits, the Ouija board, on a sovereign being to drive them, these wholesome people. Person, this witch now wants forgiveness because justice is being delivered and they're being made invisible because of all of the drama they caused with their addictions and their bullshit. You're being remembered. You're the teacher. And they buried the teacher and layered the teacher in all of their filth and tried to say the teacher was filth. And it's like, this is so sickening. There's a backstory to this pathway and those people who did whatever they did with the things that were supposed to be evenly distributed among the people. There was a prophecy here that the ancestors knew everything about. They knew that you were stable, rational, honest, humble, balanced, in service here. You never stopped supplying them with what they needed, even though they were kicking you in the gut and giving you a knock on the chin and a knife in the heart. They kept doing it to you because they were playing around, wanting to puppet you, wanting to command your mind and create conflict within you. They wanted you disconnected, but now they're getting disconnected. They're going to be made absent because that's the role they chose. They wanted to be absent from your life and now they're getting divorced out of your energy. They did not want you. They abandoned you, Empress. They abandoned you, rejected you, and then tortured you while drawing all of your services out of your spiritual inheritance, forcing you to serve them while they brutalized you in the astral, in the dream space, in these other dimensional realms, and leaving you alone here, calling you a peasant, a dime a dozen, a slave. You brought attention to this because you kept your mind and your heart and your body pure. You did not take on any of their traits that they were trying to drive into your consciousness and your life. So you're being congratulated on bringing an end to this this teaching of frivolousness, you know, not being responsible, not settling down, not taking care of business. You're here. It's time for you to be here in your purpose. And it's like there's a religious or a religion who wants to make an appearance. They might be bringing a message of love, or there's a religious person or people who have appeared as though they were messengers of love, but and people of importance, but they are just vain. They're just playing a part, a role. Obviously, they're not about love, because we've got children's graveyards everywhere out there behind churches that were responsible for their health and well-being, you know, native children. So we've got the evermore, the everlasting, eternal love. The home belongs to them. It's right here in the challenge position. We've got control over the foundation. 10 of Cups, divine total love and support for the Arcana. The foundation belongs to the power of 2. The tribe that caused the shining ones to have to preserve themselves to survive are afraid because they're going to an unknown location. They don't know where you are. There's a change happening here. There's a change in the visitation, like maybe you're not getting visitations, maybe they are. They laughed and pretended. They pretended to be happy, to get a status of privilege, to be seen as a giant, a limelight. But this is a snake who is martyring people and then pretending to be them. They were consuming them for entertainment and then pretending to be leaders and then effing around, having a freaking party, you know. They had a limited perception of peaceful people. They would spy on peaceful people, and then they would come up and then start hucking pocky sticks at them and stuff to destroy their happiness. But you accepted everything as it was, and you have a promise here and now of defense because you're innocent. You're an innocent creator, and you are you take care of yourself even while the whole freaking world is trying to vomit their karma onto you. So you're expected to take this seat because you overcame hardship, the hardship of being mentally haunted. This chair belongs to you. You have control over your body and over your mental body, your temple, and the essence within it. This devil tried to take it from you. They're pissed because this curator was saying, you know, years ago, you had that heart attack medicine, like you got fat or high blood pressure or something, and you had to take this medicine. And then they said that if you hadn't taken that medicine, you would have perished, and they would have successfully unalived you, and they would have been able to claim you, right? So they feel that anybody that they can red rum with magic belongs to them. They feel that that's fair. Innocent people who don't do magic or know, they think that, you know, magic is for science fiction books, you know. They don't realize that these guys are out here doing it on non-magical people to screw up their lives and give them nothing but misery while they suck the light out of them and wander around pretending that they are a star. You know, people say, I can command the curator away. Well, they don't know this story. It's centuries old, and that little shit put his hooks in somehow to my psyche, and obviously we have ties throughout time. So, but time has stopped, and so this little fella, he needs to let go because there's no contract. There's no yoke. There's an emancipation. Like whatever this guy, he thinks that he owns every single star and sun. He thinks he owns every single ounce of life force vitality running through any flesh suit in this world. He deceitfully consumed what I think is the covenant holder of last cycle. And then they drew off that consciousness, that energy source for centuries, pretending that they were it. And now they've lost connection with that source. Their magic isn't working because they don't have the energy that gave them the power that they once tried to convince everybody that they themselves were the source of. So the Queen of Pentacles is here. She's offering security for the body. Maybe she has a body of security. Maybe you have a group of people, angels. God the Father himself, the Mother, is here protecting your body, your flesh suit, making sure that nobody does what they say they're gonna do. They're being watched. They're being watched, and so yes, luck is on your side. You're unavailable. These ones have to move on. So she's looking at everybody that comes up to speak, and luck is on her side. They have to move on. They have to move on. So she's looking at every single flesh suit. And if they had worked, put up your dukes. If they had done labor to bring fight to the Empress, they can't stay here. They've been told that if they have any hate for the Mother, they cannot stay here. If they hate the feminine who brings forth life, then they cannot stay in the Mother's house. They just can't. Commitment. So you've got control of the foundation. It is a frugal foundation. The playing field is leveling out. Balance is being restored by the Arcana, by this Empress. The wealth is being distributed more fairly among the people. She's got this commitment. She's very committed to the health and well-being of this foundation, this total love and support of the families here on the foundation. So the Queen of Pentacles is here, and she's watching these bodies that wanted to harm the Mother. She's watching them walk away. She's making sure they actually leave. Yeah, because they're a liar. They say they're going to leave. They say they're going to do this, and then they lie. So she's watching them because they're a freaking liar about every damn thing. They lied on this Arcana Empress star, and Divine Masculine stated that since they lied on her, they lied on everybody else, because she was like the head of the game. And so, but she survived here with her partner. There's somebody else that she had a partner, and they both survived. So we've got, in the past, we have released and do nothing. So somebody martyred you, or those who did martyr you are being released. They're being let go because you didn't do anything. or they martyred you and you didn't do anything. You're innocent. So they're being let go. They're being disconnected. We've got divorce in the reverse. So you didn't do anything. It's like these people centuries ago, in some long ago freaking relationship or whatever, they claimed that you wanted a divorce, but you didn't do anything. You did not do that. There was no divorce, but there is now. There is now. God said that you were too forgiving. He also said you're never going to give this land back to them, and you're never going to give them your energy, your gifts, or your services. Doesn't really matter what you want. God said you're done with that role. That's it. You didn't take any shortcuts. You did things perfectly. You like, this is the way it is, and you buckled down and you followed the rules, and you graduated what all of these woman hater masculines thought was an impossible path. They did not think you were going to rise to the top. And they're mad. They hate the mother. They're so freaking mad. They want to continue RAPing her and making money by selling her sacred womb space, her services. This gold digger is being let go. There's a divorce. So in the past, they released you. They sacrificed you, and you didn't do anything. There was no divorce. They just let you go, replaced you with a copycat. So now God is saying, you know what? There's going to be a real divorce now. There's no more contract. You didn't cut any corners. You didn't do anything wrong. You remained in service, pouring into these cheats, these liars, these frauds. And the gold diggers are now going to be let go. God said, that's it. You're not giving them anymore. Absolutely not. They shall not receive anything from this arcana ever, ever again. This explorer failed. This time traveler failed. Whatever they thought they knew wasn't. This is a South Node time traveler or a freaking interdimensional, hopper. Some Agent Smith skinwalker, from some other timeline or whatever. They're no longer able to explore. So here we go. We got the Five of Cups, disappointment. There's a disappointment here. This explorer, it failed. They failed with whatever they thought they had. They're no longer able to timeline jump, to interdimensional travel. They got to go back to where they came from and start over again. That's just the way it is. This cycle is ending, and there's not going to be any time traveling, dimensional hopping, societal threats in a man suit or their feminine counterpart in this particular territory. No more liars. There's been a great deal of information gathered here about this conflict. And there's not going to be any more conflict here. No more communication. Somebody wants to talk to you, and it's like, no. Somebody wants to communicate? No. Now's not the right time. You're going to have to go away, because we've got the Empress here working. She's got a lot of work to do, and, we got some folks out here that want to interfere in that. They hate the fact that this woman has a voice, and that God has raised her up to be heard. That her testimony is being given to the Supreme Court, and that some of these deceitful convictions are being overturned. She's exercising her right for clemency, and she's releasing those people who had been deceitfully driven into addiction or some sort of sexual instability or whatever. Whatever it is, she's working hard. She's freeing the people who were deceitfully convicted. The Supreme Court is overturning those convictions. This curator, this gold digger with the fraudulent connection to this Empress, he needs to let go. This person has been brutalizing this Empress for centuries, and there's no relationship. It's just, they got a deceitful contract centuries ago, and then they've just been martyring her and drawing off her century after century after century, lifetime after lifetime. They've been doing this crap for a long freaking time, consuming her energy, pretending that they were this beautiful energy, effing up her purpose because they're so irresponsible, egotistical, and they're a whore who's been sex trafficking the mother, the virginal young women, and then doing horrible things to the little boys, and then flipping them into their preferred role. They wanted to get rid of the human male. They've been chemically castrating them, making it so they have difficulty procreating, messing with their testosterone levels, trying to strip them of their masculinity. They wanted to replace the human masculine with whatever their hybrids are, so that they could just have the mother and the child to themselves and do whatever cruel freaking thing they wanted to them. They thought of them as animals, breeders. You're protected. So we've got the Empress here. Her work is protected. Her labor is protected. Somebody is in a nightmare because she survived. And not only did she survive, her guardian survived. They're connected to each other. We've got confession. Somebody might want to confess. They're in a nightmare about you surviving. They want to confess. We've got the Star here. You are healing from this player. You got this player here. What's going on with this player? This player will not be back. You are the Star. You are the healer. This player is not coming back. This is not a game. Life is not a game. Love is not a game. Generating future generations of human beings is not a freaking game. Somebody might be doing a love spell, trying to get in with you in this new chapter, to get you. There's a narcissist trying to get you to open your heart in the beginning stages of this new chapter. So be prepared for that. It could be somebody who's a third-party enemy in this triangle relationship. They view you as a pet, as an animal. They might be sacrificing animals, trying to get some kind of encounter with you. They could be at a distance, and they're hoping, they're taking a gamble, trying to get into your energy. Give it time. Everything happens in divine timing. Whatever they're sending at you will go back to them. Because we've got, somebody's got their eye on you. You're doing your research. Somebody's spying on you. An air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So there's an air sign spying on you. Fire sign and earth sign. So it could be this pair, this Empress and her person. So we've got a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius spying on a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They are using caution, or they better use caution, because health issues could arise. They're just being a jerk. We've got, you will be traveling soon, and there's a change of residence coming up in your future. Have patience with intimacy or any kind of intimate encounter, because someone wants to get you pregnant. One of these triangular third-party enemy scenarios wants to get you pregnant. They're having challenges manifesting date night with you. So you got to be careful. There might be a water sign trying to communicate, trying to get your forgiveness, but pay attention to the red flags, because you've got a posse of folks, these horrible wise guys out here trying to get back in your energy. You are protected, seriously, but still, be aware that this is still fizzling out. Don't be too quick to jump into the sack with somebody, especially if you've been purifying your essence for some time. Don't be quick to mix it up at all. You really want the strength and the full power of your light to be shining, and you don't want to muddy it with somebody who might have had 6 different sexual partners in the last year. Be careful, because you don't want to take that on and then take on every person that those 6 people slept with as well. I mean, you're going to take it on, so you got to kind of be careful. God will let you know when it's time. You got the Queen of Pentacles here. She's looking at this body. She's looking at this body, and luck is on her side. Someone is unavailable. It's a waste of time. It's over. So she's researching into the body. Yeah, someone was daydreaming. Someone's daydreaming of an escape. Luck is on this Queen of Pentacles side. Someone's being told to move on. They were daydreaming of using you as an escape. They wanted to be you. They wanted to be your body. It could be that this Queen of Pentacles is protecting your body, making certain that this gold digger doesn't get in it. We've got control over the foundation for the 10 of Cups, total love and support, divine unions of the Arcana. They're very committed, and this is getting serious. Somebody wants to talk to you. Yeah, this is getting real serious. Somebody wants to hear your voice. They're getting antsy. We're losing patience. Somebody wants to be with their Empress. We've got the Queen of Pentacles here, leaving behind maybe they are walking away from somebody who abandoned this Empress. That's what it is. So they were observed. They abandoned this Empress. And then they lied about it and said that she wanted a divorce or something, but that wasn't the truth. They sacrificed her. And now this liar and his whatever is hurting from the damage that they've caused. They might be lying about it. They might be pretending that everything's fine, but they are definitely hurting. In the past, they sacrificed this Empress. They let her go. They martyred her. They abandoned her. She didn't do anything. It wasn't a divorce. They just flipped her, copycatted her, and then unalived her into some shadowy realm of suffering. But she survived the hellhole that they buried her in. This gold digger wanted every good thing that belonged to her, which is dominion of the planetary system, the Garden of Eden. He wanted to terraform the planet and then genetically alter all life forms into some hybrid situation that he could claim ownership over and control over. The problem with that is that the spirit and the soul within the flesh suit that he thinks he owns does not belong to him. He cannot cannot claim ownership of God's child. Mother, father, God's got his child. He can't claim that. It doesn't belong to him. He's just an a-hole who's been manipulating people and then consuming them, red rumming them and consuming them. Literally, he's a vampire, a dishonest jackwagon. They lied. This Empress didn't seek divorce. She didn't do anything wrong. They just decided to martyr her and then suck the life out of her and take on her intellectual property and pretend that they were the one who were given the covenant, but they weren't. They betrayed God when they betrayed this Empress. And now they're getting divorced out with the Three of Swords because you did not take any shortcuts. You obeyed all the rules. You graduated at the top of your class. You overthrew some of their record, their Guinness Book of World Records. You surpassed at least 2 of those. They stuck you on an impossible path. They buried you so deep. They thought it was impossible for you to come back up out of that. But you did. And now they have the audacity to be mad that God is giving them a spanking for trying this crap. The demons have been unleashed. No, that's God's wrath on all of those in a man suit and their girlfriends who refuse to do anything to help this Empress or any of the divine mothers in any of their aspects. They did their very best to bury them all of the earth angels who have been freed. They've been given clemency. The gold digger is being let go. They made mistakes. They made mistakes, and you followed all of the rules. You did not take shortcuts. You did not cheat or swindle or steal from anybody. You suffered through it. And now they have failed. This explorer isn't welcome here anymore. The explorer cannot come here anymore. There will be no more travelers accepted into the territory. Absolutely not. We're not going to collaborate with any freaking explorer, player, devil bullshit artist. That cycle is over. We're beginning a new cycle. And it's a secret. It's all a secret. You don't know everything yet. I don't know everything yet. Nobody knows it. That's God's timing. That's everything in God's timing. God will handle it when God needs to handle it. You're doing your research here, so there's a lot of research regarding this communication. And the answer is no, we're not going to fight about it. And there's disagreements. It could be that there's no disagreements. There's no communication. You're not going to communicate with anybody who is whining about you not understanding how they feel. After they, for centuries, stuck knives in you, RAP'd you, traumatized, terrorized, tortured you, while draining your spiritual inheritance and wearing masks, trying to convince God that you were a terrorist and that you deserved eternal damnation. These ones want you to feel sorry for them. The work of the Empress is protected. The Divine Mother stated that they will not be able to curse her land or her business. These explorers aren't allowed here. We've got somebody overwhelmed and stressed out by your guardian, by your protector. They're in a nightmare because you survived. The two of you survived. Somebody wants to confess something, or maybe you survived and you are confessing. Like whatever happened here, like you're telling the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Authentic, transparent, whether it is, horrible admission of wrongdoing, or horrible testimony of what was done. It's all coming out. You survived, and you've offered your testimony to the Supreme Court, to the higher dimensional council, the universal councils. People are talking about it. You told it all of it. If there was any drugs done, you mentioned it. If there was any sexual kind of stuff, you mentioned it. If there was anything at all, you told the court what it was, what you were using, how long you did it, and then, all of these other driving circumstances, the software that was being driven through the mind to drive people into addictions and failure, to drive them into, is it promiscuity? Is that the word? Anyway, you're the star. You're the rejuvenator. Everything you touch turns to gold. And this player is not coming back. They're not allowed back. They're not allowed back. Because you love yourself too much. You had to love yourself into health, and you're still trying to heal. This player can't come back into your life. They want forgiveness, this copycat reflection. They want forgiveness for perhaps doing mirror magic on you. They want forgiveness for running away from their responsibilities. They're feeling broken and shattered because they're getting every nasty thing that they ever did to you is coming back on them. And they thought it was funny. They thought it was funny, man. But they don't think it's funny now because you were committed to this soul contract. And they are getting detached. And it could be you're getting detached from that also because you're getting a reunion. These people are getting held back because they neglected you. They abandoned you. They took everything from you, and they didn't leave you with the means to care for yourself. They drove in every single foul thought about self. I hate myself. I'm fat. Nobody loves me. I don't deserve shit, and blah, 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 blah. They love forcing that negative self-talk into people's minds. And they love to confirm it by influencing those around you to speak in a terrible way. They don't know what to do because the truth has been revealed. The truth is they did not appreciate you, and they're unworthy of you. You never gave up hope for loving, loyal union, and they never gave up hope for money. They were using you to gain access to your spiritual inheritance, and they were partying hard with all their friends while laughing at you while you served them. So your connection with your destiny has been mended. You are on the right path. You are in your purpose. You've got this soul tie here. Whoever this gold digger is, they sabotaged a soul tie with you, and that's unexpected outcome. They have to stay out of your space. They cannot separate you from love. It is in you. Heaven is in you. They can't take it out of you. They're in regret because they missed their opportunity to be with an irreplaceable love. That's just it. They don't want to chase anymore. The shadow side doesn't want to chase you anymore. And it's too late for them to take any action. These third parties are unsatisfied with the work they did. This habitual pattern of sleeping with every freaking Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Josette, or whatever. These egotistical people are feeling your absence in this new chapter. You have an understanding of what they were doing, and they're confused because they've been found guilty of unfinished business. They did not complete anything at all. They didn't focus on anything except lying, cheating, stealing, and hurting a beautiful divine Empress star. Queen of Pentacles is scoping out these bodies, and luck is on her side. They need to move on. Those who were daydreaming of being this Empress, of replacing her, they want to escape now. They were daydreaming of using her as an escape. They wanted her caught in eternal damnation while they got her heaven. They wanted to frame her as a terrorist when she was the actual healer that made their life worthwhile. These people are so vicious and childish. They have absolutely no responsibility, no care for anybody. You've got control of this foundation. The Ten of Cups is here. Total divine love and support for the Arcana, who are committed, and things are getting very serious. Somebody wants to have a conversation. They want to hear your voice. You're emotionally exhausted. You're tired. You deserve a break. Crazy. So, you could be disappointed. These ones walked away. They left you behind. They abandoned you. And now it's your turn to walk away from them. They're being watched. Everything has been watched. These people are liars, and they're hurting from the damage that they have caused. They lied about everything, and you're leaving. You're leaving. Or they're leaving. They have to get out of your house. They've been served eviction notices. They got to get out. Their only hope, according to their twisted, demented mind, is to martyr, unalive, and then consume this Empress once more so that they can create the illusion that it is they who have the covenant. If they can dress up in her energy and steal her mental body, then they can pretend that it's them. But I don't think so, because she has a witness. Her guardian is with her 24/7. They're connected. In the past, they martyred her, and she didn't do anything. They said she wanted a divorce, and that was not true. There was no divorce. They maintained the contract and lied about it, said there was a divorce, but there never was. There was never any child, there was nothing. They just martyred her, flipped her, copycatted her, and then spent centuries torturing her while they took every good thing from her and laughed and laughed and laughed how they were going to get utopia. Empress, yeah, you deserve hell, you bitch. They hated her so freaking bad. These empty vessels, these lying sacks of crap, targeted a beautiful divine mother figure who was giving them everything. And the more she gave to them, the more they hated her, and the more determined they were to destroy her. And I'm talking about the mother in all of her aspects, okay? Because divine mother is in all of us. So, but whoever this gold digger is, this lying sack of crap who said centuries ago there was a divorce and there never was, there really is a divorce now. God is saying, that's it. You let this contract go. You forfeit this connection. You forfeit this connection because you lied. And then you were vicious and cruel and mean to an innocent, beautiful, loving person who was still taking care of your dumb ass. Asshole. They're being let go. They're a gold digger. They made mistakes. They wish they could right their wrongs, but that's not true. They only wish that they had been successful. They're having anxiety. They don't know what the hell is going to happen now. This childish person who does not possess or hold divine essence. They don't hold divine essence. They are a devil dressing up in the energy of somebody else and then running around like they're perfect. They don't even act well. So we've got regret, failure, this explorer, these time travelers, these other planetary, whatever, forbidden magic bullshit artists, they're not allowed back. This cycle is over. We got a new cycle beginning, and we've got secrets. They don't know everything, and we've got ending in the reverse. They were not able to bring you an ending. They could not bring you an ending. And it could be that this new cycle is a never-ending cycle. You get eternal love because it's what you were destined for, and they get whatever they get. There's the Hermit here. You're doing your research on this communication, and we've got no disagreements. It could be that everybody understands exactly what's going on here. Yeah, they lost. This devilish energy lost. The triangle energy siphoning, brutalizing bullshit artists. Yeah, that's they lost. They're mad. They want to unalive this Empress. They want vengeance because they weren't strong enough to take out one freaking mother figure. All these masculines and all their gal friends were not potent enough to take out this one Empress. High Priestess, star. And now her work is being protected and somebody is feeling overwhelmed by this guardian. They are screwed. Somebody's overwhelmed by the dark side because the work of this Empress is being protected. She's being protected, and somebody is overwhelmed and stressed out because of the dark side. It's what they wanted. That's the energy they worshipped and lived in while they were stealing and siphoning and dressing up so pretty and shiny in the mother's energy. They're in a nightmare right now because she survived. Not only her, but her guardian survived. And now we've got a confession. She's telling everybody everything, and people are talking about it. People are talking about how they just left her there in the dark, taking everything from her and not helping her. They contributed to her lack. They took everything. She's the star. She has healed and she is rejuvenating. Everything she touches turns to gold. This player will not be back because you love yourself too much and you're still trying to heal. They cannot come back into the energy of those people who love themselves. They're not going to come in here and happiness hate everybody and bring suffering again. We've got secrets in the reverse. No more secrets. There's no more secrets. We're having authentic, transparent, open knowing of everything that's happening here. There's no more secrets. Yep, we got those weed seeds, those chaff or whatever you want to call it, have a long road to go before they get what they want. God said, those who wish to delay the purpose of others will delay their own inheritance. So they're losing everything and they're not going to get squat for a long, long time. They're tangled up in a web, a sticky situation, because they made things hard for these diamonds. They put them in a crazy drama, brought them nothing but grieving, tore their life to pieces. And now they got to face it. Everything in their life is crumbling because they built it on the life force essence that did not belong to them. And it's obvious because once you separate them out, 6 foot apart, you can tell who has the inner, who is their own supply and who's just dressing up in it, right? They're feeling crushed because now they're guilty. They've been found guilty of making life very difficult for you. They're not as sweet and prim as they like everybody to believe. They're going under. They can't keep things afloat. They want forgiveness. They didn't mean to hurt you and cause you a struggle. It's like leave you alone, go far away from you. Yeah, they got caught up in a blind spot. They are in ruins. They're falling away because they gave you nothing but neglect. And the things that you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. And since they gave you nothing but neglect, they are falling away so that you have room for love. They were trying to play games with love, play games at love, so that they could use your love as an escape route. They wanted to take your place, dress up in your energy, pretend to be you, and then say, hey, God, I'm the Empress. Welcome me home. And guess what? He's not the Empress. Neither is his friends. They burned many flames. Burned them. Burned. Trying to get an exit plan. Just another notch in the headboard. Wanting to reach out for love. Love doesn't want them. You're being aggressive because all these little nasty jacks broke every promise that they ever made to anybody, especially a woman, and perhaps even a child. These guys are bad, bad, bad boys. Childish. And they're mad because, because I talk like this, because I tell it like it is, according to my own perspective. It's just nasty, man. And they're upset. They're embarrassed. Well, why are you doing things that cause you to be so embarrassed? I mean, if it's embarrassing, why do it? And it's somebody else's fault because they exposed it. Well, why is that? Queen of Pentacles is looking at the body. Yes, they're being told to move on. They were daydreaming of using you as an escape route. They're very, very childish. Very, very childish. Okay, I'll try one more time. Maybe we don't want this dead. Very, very childish. Trying to use your love as an escape route. Okay, well, I guess maybe we do. Envy. So very, very childish, very, very envious. They thought that they could dress up in your memories, your energy, and pretend that they were you, except that they're not. Every action that they made was not an Empress action. It was not a High Priestess Empress action. So you've got control of the foundation for the Ten of Cups unions of the Arcana. You're very, very serious about this commitment. Somebody wants to talk to you, and you deserve a break. You're tired. You're tired, man. You're tired of talking to these. Maybe you're tired of all the conversation. Maybe you're tired of listening to these players come into your mind in the midnight hour and play around all night long as though your field of awareness is their playhouse. Like for some reason they have a right to be present here. Well, no, you don't. Gold digger is getting cut off. You got to get divorced. You got to get out. This is not your mind. This is not your thought. This is not your energy. Nor will you ever, ever, ever have it back. Look, judgment. They're under judgment. God said they're never going to get it back. You're tired of listening to this conversation. They're under judgment. You're leaving it behind. They're disappointed. They're being observed. Everything that they're being watched. They got to get out. They're being observed. They're a liar. They're a known liar. And they're hurting from the damage that they've caused. They got to get out. They got to leave. Leave now. Leave now. They have no gifts of the soul that benefit anybody. They haven't worked on developing any value in their soul. They don't have anything to offer the community. All they have is need. And they're very prideful and they feel they deserve what anybody else does. Like, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Because they feel they're special. Even though they don't have any gifts of the soul that they can share with anybody in a good way. They're just greedy, needy, toxic. They're toxic. They lie. They cause damage in the world. They lied about this Empress. In the past, they sacrificed her. She didn't do anything to deserve it. They said there was a divorce, and there wasn't a divorce. They lied about it. These empty vessels lied about it. They sacrificed her and then consumed her. These empty vessels consumed her and then said they were her. This curator says, when a younger just recently asked him, why do you keep going after this woman? And he said, because we can be just like her. So he's like, he wants to consume the energy of this woman so that he can take on her persona. There was no divorce. He sacrificed her and spent centuries torturing her and leaving her alone without anybody to love or help her in her misery that they kept burying her under. Centuries, cycle after cycle after cycle, they had this contract because there was no divorce. They lied about it. They were just brutalizing her over and over and over, and they thought it was so freaking fun and funny to train their children, every generation, to do the same. Oh, go ahead, harvest the womb energy. She likes it. I heard them say one time when they were attacking me. Vicious. And you know, it's so sickening. They were so young. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. To train your young sons to go into an elder woman's room while she's in her bed alone and siphon her womb space, her sacral energy, and just laugh and joke like that's what she wanted, and hurt her, man. And laugh about it like it was there was nothing wrong with it. They don't have any courage. Their cup is empty. They lied. They're getting divorced out of this energy. This Empress did not take shortcuts. She did everything just the way it was supposed to be. She followed all the damn rules. There's no reason for them to disqualify her. She has been verified. She is honored. She has received medals of medals of honor for her courage and her bravery in facing this. There is a divorce. This gold digger is going to be let go. They made mistakes and they're having anxiety because they don't know what's going to happen now. They don't have access to her intellectual property, the Empress, High Priestess, Star, Source connections. They don't have access to that anymore. So they don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think the spirits are working with them anymore because God's here and adjustments are being made. And people are being allocated to wherever their match is. And, you know, so they're having anxiety. They don't know what's going to happen. They're like, oh no, what's happening here, right? They have no access to your mental body. They've been kicked out of your intellectual property. They're getting kicked out. So there's a divorce out of your mental body. Yep, that's what's going to happen. The separation is going to occur. Centuries ago, they said there was a divorce and there wasn't. And they've been brutalizing and taking advantage of this space. Now they're going to get divorced out of this mental body. This gold digger is being let go. They're having anxiety. They're not going to be having the High Priestess, Empress, Source connection anymore. They are not that. They never were that. Regardless of how many stars they drank the blood of or ate the flesh of, they're not that. They're delusional, and they're in regret because there's no more explorer that is going to be permitted in the territory of this Empress. There will be no agreement to collaborate with any more of these people. They have effed it up for everybody. That cycle is over. The new cycle is a secret. Not everything is being told, but we've got ending in the reverse. Like they couldn't bring you an ending. Or whatever this cycle is that this explorer is going through, it's a secret. Whatever it is, it's not, it's never ending. It will not end. We got eternal love and we got eternal damnation. Oh, death. Oh my gosh. Never ending death is what this explorer is going to get. He's not allowed here. He's got to go wander the freaking valley of the shadow of death forever. He's got to go wander the valley of the shadow of death forever for what he was doing to limitless, abundant beings. He had an opportunity to elevate the bloodline, his lineage, and rather than procreate and elevate genetically, he decided just to consume, to feed on, to be a parasite. And he called that improving the lineage. You got the Hermit card here. You're looking on anybody coming in to communicate with you. If they have on boxing gloves, it's like, no, they're not going to be permitted in. We've got disagreements. There's no disagreements. These people lost. Whoever it is that was trying to box the ears of this Empress, they've lost. There will be no communication. It's done. It's over. They're done. They're getting kicked out. They got never-ending death, man. Why? Because they failed to love. They failed to learn the lessons of love. This Empress was here as a teacher of love, and they stuck her in a hellhole and decided to go F-U-C-K the world, man. They failed at love. The Empress is here. Her labor is protected. She is guarded. Somebody is being overwhelmed by the dark side. They're stressed out hard. They're being overwhelmed by all those spirits, all of those entities that they were calling forth to attach to people. They're being overwhelmed by those of the dark side. They want your empathy. They want you to care, man. Or maybe they're being overwhelmed by those in the dark side who actually care about you. Like, you probably got friends in the upper and the under, because these guys had you buried in a hellhole. You probably made friends while you were there. Maybe you offered clemency to some of those people who were deceitfully convicted and sent there. Because that just happened. She exercised her right for clemency and released a whole bunch of stars that had been convicted of being a prostitute, when that was not the case. Absolutely not. They're in a nightmare because you survived, and you're confessing everything that you did, everything that happened, everything you've learned. And there's gossip about how they did not meet any of your needs, your emotional needs, your sustenance, your food, your foundation, your home, your care, your touch, your companionship, nothing. They gave you nothing. They took everything from you, stuck you in a hellhole, and then gave you nothing. And laughed. The greatest joke in the world. They have to surrender their need to control you. It's over. It's over. You're the star. You have healed. You are the rejuvenator. You bring life to everything. And this player is not coming back. They're not allowed back into the territory of those who love themselves. Because when you're capable of loving yourself and creating a little heaven on the inside of you, then that means what comes out of you is a little piece of heaven. There's no secrets. There's no more secrets. Everything is going to be transparent, honest, and true. Good, bad, and ugly. Let it be known. We got service in the reverse. You're not offering services to those who keep secrets, to those who lie about who they are, about what they're doing, and about what they're intending for your family. You want peace, patience. Everything happens in divine order. The negativity is being released peace is being restored. Relationships are for people who serve the higher good. And we've got forgiveness. So you acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So those people who are capable of forgiving and who are capable of being in love, who with themselves, not in a prideful way, but actually just respect the inner divine, the spirit soul complex within the flesh temple, right? And then that makes you a high value person. You're grateful, you're thankful for life, you tell the truth even when the world is lying about you, even when the world is spitting and shitting all over you. You're grateful and you're thankful and you're telling the truth. You've learned a lot of discipline in this world, and it could be that there's some folks being denied by you and they're going to receive discipline. You're successful, you know that there's no greater goal than to love, and somebody's in regret because they have to accept this. They don't know what to do, they're having doubt, they've been found guilty of trying to affect your purpose and your growth. But you were connected to the inner voice, to the divine, and there's a change happening here. These people were trying to blame you and make you carry the responsibility for their own bad actions, and they really thought they were going to make it stick to you. But you're too darn happy it wouldn't stick. You purified yourself, you elevated, you were resurrected, and then led back into an ascension by God, who was not going to let you go. God the Father is not going to let this Empress High Priestess star go. It does not matter how delusional this liar is. So friendship is here for a reason. We're happy. So friendships are happy. We've abundant people and they've got their freedom. So happy, abundant people who are willing to be a good friend are getting their freedom. And these people are in grief about it. They're in grief because you were their meal ticket and they crapped all over you. There was never a divorce. They flipped and copycatted you. They took somebody else, dressed her up in your energy, and then she presented herself as you. She took command over your messaging, you know? And then God had to come down and do his research because he's like, that can't be my high priestess Empress star being a whore. And so guess what? There was an investigation, a healthy, long investigation. Queen of Pentacles, she's got security. She's offering security around every single body. Luck is on her side. If someone comes into your realm with a daydream of using you as an escape route with their childish envy, they are getting out. Cursed. Those bodies, those childish entities in those bodies who cursed you, hoping that they would use your suffering as an escape route, are being told to move on. They got to get out. They're under judgment and you're tired of listening to the conversation. The foundation belongs to the Arcana of divine love, 10 of Cups union. They're very committed about this and things are getting serious. You're tired of listening to this conversation and you're calling judgment on the frustration that they're trying to bring to your mental body, to your life. Bunch of jerks. So you're walking away from them. You're walking away, they're walking away, and you're watching them go. You're making sure that they get all the way gone. Because you know that this is a liar, so you're being careful. This is a liar who caused a lot of damage in your territory, pretending they were you. They're leaving. They have no gifts of the soul that benefit themselves or others, and they have to leave. That's their reward. They have to leave. They have to leave. They sacrificed you in the past. You didn't do a damn thing. They swore that you wanted a divorce and that you abandoned them, but it was the other way around. Look, they unalived you, and then you had to go learn everything about this valley of death and what they were doing here. They said that the Empress fell to tell. She came here to collect evidence on what was being done to the Earth Angels. Why weren't they graduating? Why weren't they elevated? What's going on? So you came in, Empress, and they said you wanted a divorce, but you didn't do anything. There was no divorce. They lied about it. And now their cups are empty. Their cups are empty. These empty cups, they never got full. No matter how many light-bearing people they consume, their cup will always be empty because they are not their own supply. They're not their own supply. And they don't have any courage. They don't know how to fix this. They lied about this Empress so bad. They're sick. They're sick about it. Because there's an actual divorce. This Empress didn't take any cut. She obeyed all the rules. And now this gold digger is being let go. They made mistakes. They're having anxiety. They can't tap into the mental body. Like they're losing their gifts of telepathy. There's evidence. There could be evidence of this gold digger cutting the mental body. Like, because I saw in a vision, I saw a crown, but it was wrapped in red cloth and cursed. So it could be that there's evidence of this person, this gold digger, doing that to this the Empress's mental body, cursing her mental body, shutting her down. But here she is shining, and they're in deep regret because these explorers are not welcome here. There will be no more collaborating with whoever these explorers, whatever they're, wherever they came from, they're not allowed here anymore. That cycle is over. We got a new cycle coming up, and they've got never-ending death is what they got. And while you get sweet dreams. You're gonna get sweet dreams. They gotta go the F away. And I wonder what this means. This could mean like what we have been experiencing here in the land of the valley of the shadow of death, right? You live for 20, 30, 40 years, and then you die. And then you wake up as a baby, and then you live for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and then you die. So it's never-ending death. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, and that's what they got. And you're having sweet dreams with that because you've already experienced that for centuries. Alone. They left you alone every lifetime, man. Fate. So they failed. They failed to love. They failed to steal your destiny. There's no disagreements here. They've lost. The Empress is here. Her labor is protected. Somebody's overwhelmed by the dark side, and they need her empathy. They need her to care. They're frightened. Maybe they're afraid by those in the dark side who actually care about this Empress and are beating their butt. They could be having a nightmare. They might not be able to sleep. Like all of those flames, all of those those earth angels that they put in the dark side, they could be haunting the shit out of them right now. You survived. And you're telling everything. People are gossiping about them denying you any care whatsoever. They need to surrender their need to control you. You have triumphed over this. You have won. And you did not take any shortcuts. You obeyed all the rules. And you exceeded expectations. And you still have a bunch of masculine woman haters out here who are plotting and scheming. They're still calling this Empress an appetizer. They're still fantasizing about prostituting her. There's a group of people that she has earned the right to be among, and in the background, these masculines are still talking of her in this fashion. They're not safe to be around. This star is here, rejuvenated. She's a healer. She's the life giver. And this player is not coming back. They're not going to receive any of her services. They will not receive any of the services of the self-loving people. The people who can fill up their own love cup and then pour it into the world. Yeah, they can't take it anymore. And they're not coming back. There's no more secrets. They are being stopped. They're not receiving any more services of this Empress High Priestess star. They will not be forcing her to rejuvenate their life. She will not have to make sure that they're housed or fed or clothed. She doesn't have to do anything for them anymore. This Divine Mother does not have to do anything for them anymore. And they should not be putting their feet on the soil of her territory at all, ever. They're worried. They're hesitating because you're the blessing and you care about family. And they're just a player. You persevered through their mind reading strategy, their attempt to destroy your mind. They promised to bully you, to haunt you. They bullied you and your person here, your guardian, your protector, who made a promise to you. They bullied both of you, your family tree, for your vitality. They wanted to bring harm to your family. They thought they had exterminated your entire bloodline. But there you go, popping up after centuries of being in a hellhole. God decided, oh, there you are. Come on up. Let's hear what you have to say. And you're calm, you're peaceful, and somebody's overloaded and overwhelmed because you have a vow, a schedule with Source Creator and family unseen, as well as each other and this planet Earth, this beautiful Earth. And it's time for you to receive your vow, to be part of it. Those people who kept you in isolation are in a trap now. The trap that they had dreamed that you would be in. Their intentions shall be their gift. And that is what he said. That's what God said. Their intentions shall be their gift. You've got good news. You got a miracle. You get your relationship, your marriage, you get your business, you get your land. You're going to be teaching people everything that you know. You've learned a lot. You're going to be able to help people grow. You know, you're not going to be sucking the life out of them. You'll be pouring into them. You've earned an extensive amount of dharma. You got so much dharma that you can share, and it's not going to be all freaking gold toilets and hammers and such, but it will be a safe, steady, secure foundation where people can, where their financial needs, their food, everything will be taken care of, and they can focus on that inner work, right? Getting in touch with the song that the Mother Father planted in them, to discover it, to grow it, to be it, to share it, right? And those third wheel enemies are getting separated away from you because they tried to rob you of what you are, of who you are, and of your purpose out of pride. They're stubborn. They're stubborn, right? Their desire to take your stuff has landed them in prison. Your family is working well together. It could be that they've gotten into prison because of the collaboration that they did against your family. They're being rejected now, And they're feeling lost because this magic, all of it, is backfiring on them. They're mentally disturbed. They're paranoid. They're frightened. They could be having supernatural experiences outside of themselves as well as inside of themselves. Their goal was to fight with you. That's what they wanted. And now they're protesting because they couldn't take the love out of you. Your love is still blooming beauty wherever you go. You're the star, and everything you touch turns to gold, and they're mad. They're like, that's mad. Now the mask wearers want to apologize, but they're bound to their commitments. The ones that they thought they were going to bind you to, they're bound to it. While God is pulling you up out of this mess. They are blind to your eternal love. Your trustworthy, honest alliances are making certain that they don't come into your space anymore. These ones are being cast away for the history of what they have done to you and your mind. You are this beautiful white light, solar plexus, golden light person. You are the one that have all the great ideas. You're the one that was receiving all of these beautiful messages from source that was supposed to be birthed into this realm. That was your purpose. And what these guys gave you was this. This is you, but they filled your head with crap. And now they're stressed out because you've got a rebirth. They're in a freaking nightmare now because this marriage, this sweet love is here. They were tempted by the adventure of these sweethearts. And now they want to compromise for the collaboration, or those who collaborated against you want to compromise, but justice is being served, and it will be served fully. They're going to get out. They've been served eviction papers. Those who hate the mother, those who have hurt the children, those who have disrespected Mother Earth, those who have tried to chemically castrate and make the human male go away, so that they could replace them with whatever these hybrid entities are that don't have the capacity to feel for anything except malice and joy at hurting others. Yeah, they wanted to replace our divine masculines. And so that's not the way it's going to go. It isn't going to go that way. The explorer, the player, is going to go away. And they won't be back. They won't be back. We're done. We're done playing around with the player. Their next cycle is never-ending death. They've got birth and death, birth and death. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to die, because in the Bible it says that they will want to die and they won't be able to. So, I don't know what that means. Take it as it resonates. This is the story, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. I hope that this has brought some kind of clarification that you already intuitively knew.